I'm here with Ben at their BC dairy farm. How's it going, Ben?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Why don't you give us an overview of your operation here?
So I'm the manager here at Valedorn Farms in BC. We're milking 330 cows. We're in a double 12 de Laval parlor, milking 3X. We're usually about 40 kilograms of milk with a 4% butter fat. This year's been a little different with crops and such. So for bedding here, we have a freestall barn. We have a fan separator, so we reuse all of our separated manure. We sell all the extra. I'd probably say 95% of our extras get sold off farm.
Right on. Well, I guess we'll check the operation out.
So this is our parlor. It's an 18-year-old parlor. It's done us really well over the years. We've switched to these Avanza claws. We really like them. They're a lot lighter to handle, a lot less kickoffs, very little squawking. So that's why we went to them. If you're interested, check them out. We're done our milking already. We milk 3 times a day. So we're starting 5 a.m. and 1 a.m. and again at 9 p.m.
So what was new about this new milk claw? So this is the newest, I guess, iteration of the de Laval milk claw?
Much lighter. There's less weight hanging on the cow. You get probably a little better milk out at the end of the day too. We only change liners twice a year. That's what they recommend, or that's what they come with.
Twice a year?
Only twice a year. Yeah.
Wow.
So down from our usual every other month. So there's definitely a savings to be had there too.
So this parlor is pretty much the same as ours, except the sequencing gates that you guys see right there, they're in posts in the concrete, versus ours, it's on the bars on top that go straight up. But otherwise, yeah, no, this is pretty much the same parallel parlor from de Laval. Just a couple years older. Pretty cool.
So here we are in our milk barn. We got 4 different groups in here. We got a 2-year-old group in the far back right there. So those are all our 2-year-olds. They go into there when they're 3 days fresh, and they'll be in there until they're pushed out for room, obviously. There's 90 cows in there. That's usually where that group sits at. And then our next group here is our mature group. There's also 90 cows in there. So those will be mostly our 2nd, 3rd lactation cows, filling up this group. And they also get moved out into our, I guess, late fresh group once we need the room. And then on our left here, we have a group of 60 cows. Those will be our 3rd lactation plus cows. Their density stocking is a little bit less. They got freestall per cow, 60 in there. So it's a little bit less crowded. Give them a little more space for the old girls. And then we have our late mature cows. So that's where our 2-year-olds and 2nds, 3rds, 4ths, and so on, they all mix in there before dry off.
I guess you guys get so much rain out here, you're forced to pave your yards.
Yeah, otherwise it would just be a complete mud mess if we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it maybe seems a little excessive, but it's kind of something we got to do.
Looks like a dairy farm from Holland.
Pretty much. Well, it keeps everything nice and tidy, right?
Absolutely.
Easier to keep it cleaner. You keep inside your feed alleys cleaner when you're not driving on that dirt or gravel. So here we are in our calf facility. We have capacity for 50 heifer calves in here and 10 bull calves that we'll keep until they end up going to sale. We have our calves on powder milk. We find it a lot more consistent than feeding our regular milk. They just do much better. You get even consistent growth. You know what you're getting every day in, day out. So yeah, we can have up to 50 heifer calves in here. We have them on milk for about 60 days, and then they go through a weaning. So by 70 days, they'll be back out of the hutches and into the sawdust packs.
Awesome. Now we've had some experience with the calf hutches out in Sask, but it's you know, we had to build a calf barn. It's not always the best thing putting calves out when it's minus 30 in a calf hutch.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Definitely seems more practical out in this country.
So here we are in our heifer facility. This place was built in 2016. In here we got all our calves housed. They are ranging from 8 months old right up till I guess 20 days of calving in 3 different pens. So our first pen here, we got all our virgin heifers, so they're going from 8 to 11 months old. And then after that, we got our breeding pen. They're only in there obviously until they're pregnant, and they get moved over to the pregnant side. This barn's holding about just under, I guess, 250 animals altogether in that rough ballpark.
So I was walking over to this barn expecting cows to be in there, but it's actually your guys' manure pit. Why is that?
This is just for the little bit of rain that we get all winter long here, right? So if we don't have a roof on there, we'd be spreading at least another 1.5 to 2 feet of rain. So why would we do that?
Yeah, no. I actually did some Googling before I came out to Abbotsford, or this area here in BC, to check out how much rainfall you guys get in a year. Abbotsford apparently gets 1,500 mils of rain, so like 5.5, 6 feet.
Yeah.
And just to compare that, I also right away after Googled Amsterdam, and Amsterdam was actually half that amount. So
yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, like you think Amsterdam in the Netherlands gets a lot of rain. No, this place is like insane. So
yeah, you bet.
So they gotta cover their lagoons up, otherwise they're gonna be spreading that much extra water out on the fields.
So here we are in our separation shed. So we separate 100% of our manure to get the solids out. Another thing for manure storage, the solids we can obviously store in this big bay here. And we also sell about 95% of our solids to the soil company. Comes down to nutrient management. We need to watch how much phosphorus and nitrogen we put down on the ground. So when we are able to sell this, it's at the end of the day, it's yeah, it's a soil product, so we can sell it for a variety of things. We use it for our bedding. We can have more storage space, and we get a little bit of cash off it for the product that we sell.
I guess if you need the acres to be able to get rid of your manure, and you guys are probably regulated on that out here.
Yes.
So if you have too much manure, you got to get rid of it somehow.
You bet.
So we're here in the feed kitchen, I guess.
Yeah, you could call it that. I guess this is where all the action happens, the feeding. So we got ourselves 2 big corn bunkers here. As you can tell, this one corn bunker is not as full this year, just a little bit the dry weather coming in. Not the tonnage that we normally get out of here. Yeah, so we have our own grass and corn silage. We buy in a lot of alfalfa, feeder hay, dairy hay, our straw. We rely on buying a fair bit of feed actually through our alfalfa. We always say you can know the quality that you're buying of alfalfa, but you don't always know the quality of hay that you make yourself. So
does that come out of Alberta then, or?
Yeah, Alberta and Washington, Oregon. The majority of the hay comes out of Alberta. Yeah, obviously on their poor years, then we're buying more Washington hay, but
So you guys take pretty good care of your equipment, it looks like?
yeah, I mean, it's always every Wednesday. We got one of our guys, it's his maintenance day, so he'll come in, he'll grease everything that we're using obviously on the day, the wheel loader, mixer wagon, tractor, fuel up, scraper tractor, all our alley scrapers, all the corner wheels, you name it, what needs grease gets done, gets washed. This way, if you maintain it, it's gonna last you forever. Not forever, but it's gonna last you a long time. So if you use it every day, you kind of want to have a nice clean unit with no breakdowns is what it comes down to. So we think it's worth the time, a few hours every Wednesday, and get everything cleaned up and shiny and ready for the week.
100%. So you say one guy takes care of the maintenance, kinda?
Yeah.
I like that. It's simple. He's going to keep on top of it.
Yeah, that's correct. So here we have our group pens where calves are introduced to groups when they come out of the hutches. So they'll be here about 70 days old when they come into here. And this is where they're introduced to pack life for a few more months. And then they get moved on to the next stall group after this. These are our calving pens here. So our first box stall is a designated box stall. If we see a cow actually calving, we'll move her into here from these 3 pens up here. So we'll either move them in when they are starting to really bag up. So we'll move them into these pens so we don't have them calving out in the manure alleys out back by the rest of the transitions. So there's less chance of having calf born with contamination and issues as a calf growing up. So this is where this all happens.
So 3 pens over there. Looks like you guys got an alley in the back.
Yeah.
Run them into this pen when they're actually calving.
Yeah, you bet.
Nice, clean. Well, thanks a lot for the tour.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.